Hello and a very good morning to all those who've tuned into this broadcast. You're watching Global Business Report here on News 9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar and we begin with a check on how Wall Street ended for trading overnight. The US stock markets ending sharply lower on Wednesday night with the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq falling more than 1% each, and that's because investors are assessing the latest round of corporate results that have come out in the US, and more importantly, the mounting tensions in West Asia, which has caused concerns on a hike in crude prices, which hit US markets hard. This report gets you a roundup of how trading was in the US stock markets.
U.S. stocks ended sharply lower on Wednesday as investors assessed the latest batch of corporate earnings and concerns deepened about the war in the Middle East. The Dow dropped about 1%, the S&P 500 shed more than 1.3%, and the Nasdaq plunged over 1.6%. Mounting tensions in the Middle East stoked risk aversion. Safe haven gold hit its highest in more than 2 months, while the VIX Volatility Index, Wall Street's fear gauge, rose. Carol Schleif, Chief Investment Officer at BMO Family Office, says that stocks have mostly shrugged off geopolitical events until the deadly overnight blast at a Gaza hospital heightened fears the conflict was spreading.
We do think that you're seeing a bit more geopolitical concern creep in. It's been interesting because as we've been going around the country the last 6 to 12 months, never in my career have I seen geopolitical concerns at the top of everybody's list. And I think there's that fear. You're seeing it through in the energy markets today. You're seeing it through in gold as a safe haven status.
Treasury yields edged higher after data showing U.S. single-family home building rebounded in September, supporting the view that the Federal Reserve will keep interest rates higher for longer. On the earnings front, United Airlines shares plunged more than 9.5% after the company forecast weaker fourth-quarter profit due to higher costs. Morgan Stanley shed more than 6.5% after third-quarter profit showed a hit from lethargic deal-making. Tesla, reporting after the close, said third-quarter gross margin shrank from a year earlier, slightly missing Wall Street estimates. Shares closed down nearly 5%, but were up in after-hours trading as the EV maker stuck to its annual production target of 1.8 million vehicles. And Netflix, which raised prices in the U.S., Britain, and France on Wednesday, said it picked up nearly 9 million new global customers, surpassing Wall Street's estimate of 6 million, sending its shares soaring more than 13% in after-hours trading.
All right. Now, that was how U.S. markets ended for trading on Wednesday night. Keeping it with the U.S., the world's leading iPhone maker, Taiwan's Foxconn, is set to team up with the world's most valuable chip maker company, Nvidia, and they are set to build artificial intelligence factories. That's right. AI factories that are meant to develop software for a whole host of applications. More details in this Reuters report.
Nvidia and Taiwanese iPhone maker Foxconn announced on Wednesday that they will build artificial intelligence factories together. The two company chief executives said they will build a new kind of data center using Nvidia chips and create software for a range of applications, including self-driving cars. At Foxconn's annual tech show, Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang described his vision of how AI factories could work to make autonomous electric vehicles smarter. Nvidia, the world's most valuable chip company, said in a statement that the AI factories would include the use of a cutting-edge superchip, which is barred from being sold in China. The announcement comes after the US said on Tuesday that it plans to tighten rules on AI chip sales to China and halt shipments of high-performance AI chips altogether. Nvidia's shares have tripled in 2023, giving the company a market value of more than $1 trillion. Foxconn, the largest supplier of Apple's iPhones, wants to replicate its level of success in assembling electronics as it diversifies into other fields.
Now, keeping it with technology and cars, we're talking about self-driven cars over there. Let's now talk about the solar-driven cars. Stella Terra is believed to be the world's first off-road solar-powered vehicle or car developed by students from the Eindhoven University of Technology in the Netherlands and has successfully completed a grueling 620-mile test drive over Morocco's challenging terrains. Take a look at this.
Stella Terra is robust enough to navigate not only on paved roads but also on rough terrains like this. On a sunny day, Stella Terra can drive 630 kilometers, is road legal and has a top speed of 135 kilometers per hour and only weighs 1200 kilograms. We want to be 5 to 10 years ahead of the market. With Stella Terra, we want to demonstrate what's possible towards a sustainable future. We want to inspire companies, students, everyone.
All right, shifting focus away from cars and technology to Hollywood, where Hollywood actor Alec Baldwin may be charged again for involuntary manslaughter over the fatal on-set shooting 2 years ago. Bear in mind, the actor was rehearsing with a revolver on the sets of the film Rust. That revolver was not meant to have live ammunition or real bullets, but it fired and it took the life of the movie's cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. This report tells you more.
Actor Alec Baldwin may be charged again for involuntary manslaughter over a fatal on-set shooting 2 years ago. New Mexico prosecutors on Tuesday said they will convene a grand jury in mid-November, having found, quote, additional facts following extensive investigation over the past several months that points to Baldwin having criminal culpability. The actor was rehearsing with a revolver for the film Rust that was not meant to have live ammunition when it fired a round that killed cinematographer Halyna Hutchins. The new grand jury comes after an independent forensic test found Baldwin had to have pulled the trigger of the gun for it to fire the round. The finding was the same as a previous FBI test on the firearm. It all comes some 6 months after prosecutors had dismissed charges against the Emmy Award-winning actor based on evidence then that the gun Baldwin used might have been modified, allowing for it to fire without the trigger being pulled. Baldwin has said he is not responsible for Hutchins' death and he did not pull the trigger. His lawyers in a statement said, "It is unfortunate that a terrible tragedy has been turned into this misguided prosecution and that they will answer any charges in court."
Now, what is the best way to relive your childhood? To go back to the days of 101 Dalmatians on the VCR, my beaten up Little Maid backpack that sits on the couches of families, and Beauty and the Beast, and all these classics all come from the house of Disney. Revisiting Disney, celebrating Disney is like revisiting all of our childhoods, and that's what a museum in London is doing on the occasion of 100 years of Disney. Take a look.
So there's 10 galleries in this exhibition. Begins with a introductory, this is who Walt Disney was and this is his early years, coming all the way up to what's going on and what we're going to see in the future of Disney in the next 100 years. And so in between, between those 2 points, there's 9 galleries that tell you about Walt's philosophies, how he made films, and how we followed in his footsteps ever since.
Most people's first experience of being in a movie theater is usually a Disney movie, and that connects us all in a huge, huge way. And also, animation has a shelf life. Bambi doesn't wear, fashions from the 1970s, so, it doesn't date that way, and these characters can remain true and universal for decades.
Those characters can remain true and universal for not just decades, forever. But keeping into the world of entertainment, we all know the all-time great music band, the Beatles, of which the lead singer was Sir Paul McCartney. But did you know Sir Paul McCartney also formed a parallel band with his wife before splitting up from the Beatles? That's right, it was called Wings, and it was formed in the year 1971. And now Wings, which used a double-decker bus for a 1972 European tour, is being taken out for an auction, and bids are expected to be anywhere between $200,000 to $300,000. I'm not kidding. Have a look at this.
We are on an incredible bus from the 1950s, a seaside bus that Paul McCartney and Linda McCartney bought in early 1970s for the Wings Over Europe tour in 1972, 9 countries, traveling at 35 miles an hour. This bus went all over south of France and Germany and Finland, and just a summer of fun with the Wings band, post-Beatles of course.
That's all we have time for in this edition of Global Business Report. Thank you so much for watching. This is Krishna Kumar signing off. Keep it with News 9.